Hello. In this video I'm going to show you how to better protect your Windows laptop when you're out and about in public. Hopefully you have already encrypted your laptop, because in this modern day and age it's very important to encrypt portable computing devices. Android phones are encrypted by default. Microsoft is starting to encrypt computers and laptops by default. It's really important, and that's a very basic thing that you should implement. Use BitLocker if you have to, but if you can, get rid of it, because there are exploits with the TPM module in order to get the private key out of it. It's outside of my scope. I don't have the equipment or the knowledge or the interest, but I know it's possible. So you might want to consider using something called VeraCrypt, which is free and open source. I'll put a link in the description below. So let's assume that you have gone on YouTube and found a tutorial and you've responsibly encrypted your laptop, your Windows laptop. What the problem now is, when you're using it and someone steals it while you're in the middle of using it, they can use it too, because they've just run off with it. And yes, it's encrypted, but while it's on and you're using it and you're typing your email at the coffee shop and someone grabs it and runs off down the street, you're screwed at that point. What are you going to do? You can't catch them. So here's some tips for you on how to protect your laptop in that kind of situation, to stop people from being able to get all of your contacts and your email and your logged in accounts and your saved passwords and all your files, your data, your pictures, your company information, because you really don't want to be responsible for a breach at the place that pays your bills, you know. So here's what you can do. You can go into your control panel, set it to small icons, go to power options, and when you're on a laptop you'll have an option either here where it says choose what the power button does or choose what the lid closing does. Whichever it is, press it and then click here to change the settings from an upper level admin prompt. Inside of here on a laptop you'll have a setting about what happens when the lid closes on your laptop. And you'll have two sections, most likely, one for what happens if it's plugged in and you shut the lid, and what happens if you're just running on battery and you shut the lid. You need to set both of these to shut down. So your priority, and this isn't the only side of this story, there's something else we've got to do, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you. The thing that you need to drill into your muscle memory is to stay somewhat aware of your surroundings when you're using your laptop in public. And when you're at that supposed coffee shop and you're tip-tapping away on your email and someone goes to grab your laptop, your most highest priority is to shut that lid. Whether or not you're capable of stopping them from stealing it, your priority is shut the lid. Because once it goes into shutdown mode, that's the thing that once it powers off, now it is encrypted. It's what's called encrypted at rest. So when it's switched off, they can't access any of that information. But if it's just on, they can. Now the problem with this is, by default, if you've got some work open, and we're going to be covering these registry entries here, right? So if I've got a document open and I'm typing in it, and I haven't saved my work, and someone tries to steal the laptop and I shut the lid down, let's simulate that by doing a normal shutdown. So we'll go to shutdown, and we get this. Oops. What this is basically telling us is, you've got some work you haven't saved. Would you like to force this shutdown anyway, or would you like to cancel and not shut down the system? So the thief has just stolen your laptop, and they're safely in their car. The getaway driver's driven them away, and they lift the lid and they see this. All they do is just hit cancel. Now they've got all your stuff, all access to absolutely everything in your entire digital life. So what we need to do to stop that, to ensure that when you do a shutdown of any kind, whether it's you just do a shutdown like I did from the start menu, or when you shut the lid, we need to put some registry entries in, and these are per account. So right now I'm in my account. If someone else used the laptop, you'd have to log on to their Windows account and put these settings in. So let's do that right now. So press Windows R and go to Run Command and type regedit and press Enter. Hit yes if you get prompted, which hopefully you did. Then we need to navigate. Let's close all this rubbish. We need to navigate to HKey current user, control panel, and desktop, and we're going to make everything in this folder. So these are strings. The string name is on the left and the value is on the right. So we'll copy the first one, AutoEndTasks, then right click on desktop, go to new, put string value, then we'll press Ctrl V to paste, press enter on the keyboard, and then enter again to be able to put the setting in. This one needs to be 1, so we'll just put 1 and press enter. Let's copy the next one, WaitToKillAppTimeout, copy that, right click on desktop, go to new, string value, Ctrl V paste, enter. This one is 100. That's 100 milliseconds, so we just put 100, and then we'll copy the next one, HungAppTimeout, right click on desktop, new, string value, paste, enter, 100, enter, and the last one, ShutdownWithoutLogon, right click on desktop, new, string value, paste, enter, 1, and enter. So now we have the settings in. We just need to make them take effect. So let me just save this document here on the desktop. Alright, so let's just log out and we'll log back in, just so that those settings we've just changed will definitely take effect, and then we'll compare the difference of what happens when you do a shutdown, a normal, regular old shutdown, compared to how it showed you last time with unsaved work, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're back at the desktop. We'll open our file, our little text document, and we'll do a bit more important work in here, and let's do a shutdown. So I've got unsaved work in here again. So let's go to here and go shutdown, and look at that. It's now on a one-track path to shutting down. Now I have Windows updates pending on here because this is a virtual machine I'm using. But right now it is an unstoppable train of shutting down. So when you shut the lid and you've told your Windows account to always treat any shutdown as a forced shutdown, you have to take responsibility for saving your work. So here we are, fully booted back up, and so as I was saying, you have to be responsible to save your work, because now that we've made these registry changes, if you do a normal shutdown or you close the lid, it's not going to give you a second chance to save those changes. So if you do a shutdown, you're probably going to lose any unsaved work. It'll have wherever you last saved. So that's your responsibility to make sure you save things. So right now you've got it to where your priority is to close the lid. There's another option that you can use which is particularly good in case you're not quite able to close the lid. So if we go to close the ad, if we go to Nursoft, I'll put the link in the description for this tool. This is USBDeview. Now this is normally so that you can have a look at what USB devices are plugged into your computer. We actually don't care. We're going to use it for something else. So if we scroll down here to the download link, you want to usually get the 64-bit version here. If you're on Windows 11, it is Windows 64. If you're on Windows 10 or below on an older system, it could be a 32-bit version. So try this one first, and if this version doesn't work, then get this one. So we'll grab the 64-bit version. That's downloaded. Let's go to where we have it saved. And it's inside a zip file, so we'll right click on that to extract all. Hit extract. And here we have the program. That's the help file, and there's a readme text file. So let's minimize this and close this. What we're going to do is right click, drag on the actual program onto the desktop and make a handy little shortcut so we can run this very quickly. So what we need to do is just put a couple options in here to get this ready. So we'll open it and we'll go to Options and Advanced Options, and there's two tick boxes at the bottom. Execute. What these are is so that if anything is plugged into your USB ports or if anything is unplugged, we can have it run a command. And you've probably guessed the command we're going to run. We're going to run a shutdown. So let's go shutdown.exe space / s space / f space / t space 0, and we will copy that and paste it into the next box. So this is going to do a forced shutdown. I know we've already made all shutdowns forced, but for the sake, we might as well put it in here as well. So when we apply this setting, it's going to do a forced shutdown with no way of stopping it. So how do we use this? So we're in the coffee shop and you type in your email, or you're an investigative journalist in some dodgy country. If thieves try to grab your laptop, your priority is to shut the lid. If you're unable to do that and you know you're in that kind of environment, you can ahead of time open this program and just minimize it. Now that we've set those settings, we don't have to worry about the settings ever again. Here it is running down at the bottom. So now, if anything is plugged in, like a hacker comes up with a rubber ducky, which is a thing that can type and move the mouse on its own to download malware, if they plug anything in, the system immediately goes into panic mode and shuts down forcefully. If somebody unplugs something, your laptop will forcefully also shut down, which means if you're unable to close the lid in time as your laptop is being grabbed, if you've got a mouse plugged in and you're holding on to your mouse, the mouse is obviously going to come unplugged when they snatch your laptop, which means now this program is going to see that something's been unplugged and shut the machine down forcefully. Or perhaps you've got a YubiKey plugged in with a nice long lanyard, like one of those ball bead chains that you have dog tags on. Make it long enough so that you can drape it around your wrist once, and therefore if someone tries to steal your laptop in a hostile country or something, you just flick your wrist out and the YubiKey has become unplugged. And a YubiKey is not a full-size USB plug, it's kind of like half a plug. It's just the side that's got the contacts. So it's easier to pull out a YubiKey than it is to pull out a normal USB plug like a mouse. But these things just give you some extra options to make sure that if someone does steal your laptop, you try to maximize the way that they get nothing from it. Yeah, sure, they could wipe it and sell it for parts, but the thing is, your data would at least have 2 extra chances of staying protected. And this, unfortunately, is a normal daily occurrence, people stealing a laptop, but it's something that people don't usually think about. They encrypt things and they'll use a good password, perhaps, maybe, but that's about as far as most people go. So this will just give you those little bits of extra security in the sense of anti-theft while you're using it. If you've encrypted it and it's already off, like in your hotel room or something, then everything's secure as long as you put a good password on your encryption. But while you're using it, this will keep you safer. So, if you found this interesting or useful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on whatever the next video happens to be about. Thank you.